the audience never saw her tears. To them, Gilda Radner was the life of the party, the brilliant, explosive heart of Saturday Night Live, a woman who could transform into anyone, making us laugh until we couldn't breathe. But while America laughed, Gilda was slowly dying and hiding it all behind characters and costumes. This is the haunting true story of the woman who made the world laugh while silently battling the disease that would steal everything from her. And by the end of this story, you'll understand why Gilda Radner's greatest performance was pretending she was okay. Gilda Susan Radner was born on June 28, 1946, in Detroit, Michigan. From the very start, Gilda was the kind of child who lived to make people laugh. Her father, Herman, owned a successful hotel. He'd come home every evening, and the two would dance around the living room, Gilda putting on goofy voices, pretending to be anyone but herself. But beneath the laughter, Gilda was a shy, anxious child. She struggled with her weight. Other kids teased her. Her mother pushed her into dieting as young as 9 years old, a wound that would haunt her for life. As Gilda later wrote, "I've been dieting since I was 8 years old. The first diet gave me two things. I lost 10 pounds and gained an eating disorder." Gilda's life changed in college. She moved to the University of Michigan and fell in love with performing. She dropped out before graduating to follow a dream that seemed impossible: comedy. She landed in Toronto, joining the legendary comedy troupe Second City. There, she performed alongside future stars like John Belushi and Bill Murray. Her talent was undeniable, a woman who could morph her face, her voice, and her body into pure comedic chaos. And then came 1975. Television producer Lorne Michaels launched a new show, Saturday Night Live. Gilda Radner was the first person he hired. From the moment she stepped onto the stage, she was magic. There was Rosianna Dana, a brash newswoman who'd ramble into bizarre tangents about sweaty celebrities. Emily Litella, a confused old lady who misunderstood everything and ended every rant with a sweet, embarrassed, "Never mind." America fell in love, but off camera, Gilda was fighting private demons. SNL made Gilda Radner a superstar, but fame didn't cure her anxieties. The pressures of live TV, the relentless schedule, and constant tabloid attention crushed her spirit. She was terrified of letting anyone down. She wanted to be perfect, funny, lovable. But inside, she was crumbling. Eating disorders followed her like a shadow. She bounced between binging and starving. She once admitted she'd lose 20 pounds during a season of SNL, then gain it all back when the camera stopped rolling. "I weighed myself 25 times a day," she confessed. "I was either on a diet or going crazy because I wasn't on a diet." Her castmates adored her, but even they sometimes missed how fragile she really was. And then something beautiful happened. She fell in love. In the early 1980s, Gilda met actor Gene Wilder on the set of the film Hanky Panky. Gene was already a Hollywood legend, but he was quiet, gentle, a man who seemed to understand Gilda's storms. They married in 1984. Friends say it was the happiest Gilda had ever been. She wanted a family, children, a peaceful life beyond the spotlight. But that dream was already slipping away. In 1986, Gilda began feeling constant fatigue and pain in her abdomen. Doctors told her it was just stress, or indigestion, or too much dieting, but the pain grew worse. Finally, in October 1986, doctors diagnosed Gilda with stage 4 ovarian cancer. By the time they found it, the cancer had spread. Gilda was just 40 years old. She was devastated, but determined to fight. She went through aggressive chemotherapy. She lost her hair. Her weight dropped to a dangerous low. But through it all, she kept smiling. "Having cancer gave me membership in an elite club I'd rather not belong to." Gilda tried to keep working. She performed whenever she could, her comedic brilliance undimmed even as her body failed her. She went into remission for a time. For a moment, she and Jean dared to believe they'd beaten it, but in 1988, the cancer returned. This time, there would be no escape. In May 1989, Gilda checked into Cedar Sinai Medical Center for a CAT scan. She fell into a coma during the procedure. Jean Wilder stayed by her side, whispering to her, praying she'd open her eyes one more time. On May 20, 1989, Gilda Radner died. She was just 42. When news of her death broke, Hollywood was gutted. Fans flooded NBC with calls and letters. Saturday Night Live had a special tribute. Bill Murray broke down crying on camera. Lorne Michaels said, Gilda was the spirit of the show. She had the most joyful laugh, and she made us all feel like anything was possible. Gene Wilder, shattered by grief, turned his pain into purpose. He became an activist for ovarian cancer awareness. Thanks to his efforts and Gilda's name, thousands of women have received earlier diagnosis and treatments. A legacy is laughter, Gene said, and the knowledge that maybe it can save someone else's. More than 3 decades later, Gilda Radner remains one of comedy's brightest stars. Every time someone watches her shout, it's always something. As Rosianna Dana, she's alive again. Every time someone laughs at Emily Litella saying, never mind, Gilda's voice echoes through history. But perhaps the most beautiful part of her story is this. She turned her private pain into a reason to keep others smiling. That was Gilda's final silent gift to the world. I wanted a perfect ending, she once said. Now I've learned some poems don't rhyme, and some stories don't have a clear beginning, middle, and end. Life is about not knowing and having to change. Gilda Radner's story didn't end perfectly, but her laughter lives on. And maybe that's all she ever wanted. So what do you think? Was Gilda Radner's greatest act hiding her pain? Or was it giving joy to millions even as she struggled? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe to Echoed for more hidden stories from Hollywood's brightest and sometimes darkest stars.